Do you know what that means? It's pack cracking time. Welcome to Nova Gaming, where we will be opening packs, doing gameplay videos, and deck techs. I'm your host, Tim, and what will we be having today? Well, as you can see, we'll be opening up some Star Wars Destiny, which is a great game. But what will we be opening? Oh yeah, the new Empire at War set. Oh, what is this? 2. We will be cracking 2 boxes. So let's get started. It's 10 o'clock this morning. Just me hanging out and cracking some packs. I've already cracked 1 box earlier this week, but I bought 2 more just to open right here. Oh, this thing almost cracked. There we go. Oh, fresh packs. Oh, come out, my babies. Come on out. Oh, yeah. Oh, 36 packs. And we have to mix them up. There we go. All empty. Way over there. And here they are. I know most of you have already opened up many boxes, but I'm a little late to the party. As you can see, Sabine is on the front with the beautiful artwork. Well, it's FFG, so of course most artwork is beautiful, except, you know, Rookie Pilot and Hera. Those are crazy looking, and we might see a few of those, and I will point them out. All right, move all of these out of the way. All right, here's first pack of the day. And let's see what we get. Go away. All right, it is Persuade, Voices Cry Out, Covering Fire, Coercion, and the rare Cable Launcher. Nice. That actually looks like a very interesting one. Get that in the video. Yellow character only. For its special, you could choose a character, remove 1 of its dice, or spend 1 resource, remove 2 of its character dice. Very nice. So we will see if that ever gets play. Let me just set these over here. We can put the dice over there as well. All right. On to the next one. Oops, on the camera, don't fall. Sabine, of course. That artwork, amazing. Let me toss the dice over there, over here, and go away. All right, so we have a Heat of the Battle, a Red Alert, a Strike Briefing, we have a Drop Zone, and we have a Sierra Ree. So, an Adept Pilot. She has it's an okay dice, but I don't know if it'll ever see play. I mean, it has an action, spend 2 resources to ready a vehicle. Well, if a villain vehicle deck ever comes around, and this will be definitely a decent card to have added to it. So let's just put that right there. And the uncommons comes right there. All right, pack number 3. Ooh, go hide over there. There we go away. All right, it is Dangerous Mission, Deploy Squadron. It is Only Business Matters. Another Deploy Squadron, a Hate, and a Z95 Headhunter. This is an interesting one. Kind of just a basic vehicle that has mostly just range damage sides. So for 2, it could be pretty good in most vehicle decks. But I mean, it does have 2 blanks, which could be an issue. And you can go right there. Next pack. And you can fly over there. All right. So we have a Heat of Battle, a Force Vision, a Tenacity, an Imperial Backing, and a Hera Syndulla. Now this is the one that the artwork is a little shoddy on. She's from the Rebels series, if you don't already know that, and she looks so much better in the Rebels series. Now, her ability or her special is what makes her basically amazing. So she has a special, play a vehicle from your hand for free. After the activation phase ends, if the vehicle is still in play, return it to your hand. Well, there's just amazing vehicles out there that cost, 4 or 5, and she basically gets to cheat them out every turn for free. That's just amazing. In a hero vehicle deck, it's gonna be amazing. She's a little squishy at 10, so basically everybody's gonna be focus fire to get basically 1 to 2 turns out of her before she dies. But in those 1 to 2 turns, you can definitely pack some punch and hopefully get a little bit more resources maybe from your other characters to hopefully keep out some of those vehicles. All right, off to the next pack. We have No Surrender, Voices Cry Out, Strike Briefing, Unyielding. That's just artwork's crazy. And in our rares, Training Remote. Now this is an interesting one. It's a support, +1 or +2 for a resource and 2 blanks. And then you may resolve the modifiers of this dice to modify any symbol of your blue character dice. So basically if you have, say, a blue range, a blue melee, if you have a +1, you can basically just add a +1. So, I mean, it's for 1, it's okay. It's just a little, I don't know. I mean, we'll see how well it turns out. I know the meta currently is not even close to being set up yet. So we'll see what comes out. I know right now, hero vehicles and basically the aggro decks of last set are still very strong. All right, so pack number 6. Only 30 more. All right, so Bestow, Imperial Headquarters. Now this is, I think, one of the sleeper commons. Before you resolve a die with a resource cost, you may exhaust this support to decrease that resource cost by 1. That is actually very well, and I've seen it played on Tabletop Simulator tons of times, and it's amazing. Thermal Paint, which for Sabine is basically a must-have. Rally Aid. And our rare, Quinlan Vos. I believe I said that correctly. He's an interesting one. I mean, he has two sides that are melee damage, while one's a modifier. But his special is interesting. It's deal damage to an opponent's character equal to the number of cards in your hand more than the number of cards in that opponent's hand. So basically, if you attach him and, say, Ventress, this could be very, very good, because Ventress has the ability that when you discard to reroll dice, you have to discard 2. So, and it's just amazing. And then you could stick a bunch of different cards in your deck that turn opponents' dice to blanks, and force them basically to reroll. So he's an interesting one. 11 health. He's decent health, but we'll see how the meta shakes out. All right. Throw those away. Next one is Swift Strike, Appraise, Covering Fire, Buyout, which is pretty good. I mean, spend any number of resources, then discard cards from the top of an opponent's deck equal to the number of resources just spent. As you can see from the picture, that's exactly who this wants to freaking be a part of. I have heard rumors that this one is going to be errated sometime soon. We will definitely have to wait and see if that ever does happen. And the rare is Servant of the Dark Side. Now he's an interesting one. He's a semi-cheap character, very squishy with 7 health, but he has the 2 melee sides, the 3 for 1, so he does need some resource gen. And then before one of your other characters is defeated, you may move an upgrade from it to this character. So if you have a character that the opponent must kill first, and you have a couple upgrades on them, you can have him second, and just once that guy dies, just move it over free, and it's good. And definitely, if you have a 3 character deck, and your opponent decides to go for the other 2 first, then you basically get 2 upgrades on this guy for free. We'll definitely see how it turns out with him. Grab this little guy. Alright, so we're doing okay. I've not seen any legendaries yet, but still early in the early in the box. No survivors. Another thermal paints. So it is a common, so we'll probably get a few of them. There's a Kill Them All. Keen Instincts is uncommon. And for the rare, we got Natural Pilot. So this is an interesting one. It has 2 modifiers, a 2 and a 3. So in a vehicle deck, this would be pretty good. After you activate attached character, you may ready a vehicle. So say you have a Millennium Falcon out, you activate it, roll out, you then activate whoever's attached to this, and you may immediately ready it so it can attack again. It is 4, so I believe it is just too expensive for competitive play, but if a vehicle deck ever does become big and the meta slows down, this may be able to come out and do some work. And go away. Alright, so next one we have No Surrender, Insidious, As You Command. So this is an interesting one. Resolve one of your character dice as if it were showing a focus. It keeps its original value. So, say you roll a 3 melee, maybe a 3 or a 2 melee. You can use this and make it into a 3 focus. That's pretty good. You can resolve it and then turn 3 of your other dice into whatever you want. So maybe you only had 3 melee, only 1 card in hand, and you're like, well, I have 3 other dice. I can change this into a focus, turn my other 3 dice into something else I needed. Say you're a melee deck and you have like Vader with Ancient Lightsaber Pike, and then you have maybe a Servant of the Dark Side on a blank. You can then play this, resolve the 3 melee, and then turn the Lightsaber Pike into like a +2, a lightsaber, or an Ancient Lightsaber into say a +3, and then the Servant of the Dark Side into the 1. So then instead of going 3 melee damage, you can then go to, what is it, like 2, 5, 6? Yeah, I'm terrible at math, but yeah. So it has some decent applications to it, depending on what you're running. But it is villain only, so heroes, yeah. Endurance. This is basically a must-have in any Palpatine deck. Play only if 1 or more of your dice were removed during the opponent's last activation this round. Reroll one of those removed dice into the pool. Basically, for Palpatine, the way to kill him, because he's the only character on the deck on your list, is you just mitigate his dice. If you're able to mitigate his dice every turn, 1 or 2 of his dice every turn, it greatly reduces his damage output. So play this in a Palpatine deck, you remove one of his dice, you play this, and you immediately roll it back into your pool. All right, and the rare is the LO-30 Blaster Pistol. Now this is the one of the good rares. It has Ambush and Redeploy. So Ambush obviously is you get to take an extra action after you play this. So any type of action cheating, taking extra actions is really big in the meta right now. So this one is basically a replacement for the Holdout Blaster, which did similar things, but it has a definitely better side. I mean, special, turn another one of your dice to a side showing range damage. So it's got 3 damage or 3 damage sides, and then its special can also be used to get some damage as well. So yeah, it's definitely a good card. and definitely one that I needed. All right, we're pumping along. So let's see what we get in this then. So, Cornered Prey, Appraise, Bounty Posting, Drop Zone, and Gamorrean Guard. Now he is an interesting one. So he at 10 squad points, you can have 3 of them. Now that's a ton of damage to chew through, especially because each of them have Guardian. And if you look at their dice, it's pretty good. 3 of their sides are damaged. They are extremely resource hungry. But if you can get some, maybe a support or 2 out that has a resource side and that can get out some damage or get out some resources, you'll be pumping out tons and tons of damage. I mean, you are stuck with one color, one color and then the gray. But, I mean, I saw this one played once on Tabletop Simulator, and it was actually extremely, extremely good. It's just tons of damage to go through. Guardian allows you to spread that damage around, and we'll see if a 3 Gamorrean Guard character becomes something. I really hope it does, because he's a great character. Alright. So, still no legendaries, but still got a lot of packs. Alright, so Rear Guard, Mandalorian Armor, First Battlefield, what is that? Bomer Monastery. So, resolve one of your dice showing a modifier side, basically side with a plus, as though it were not modified. So, I mean, this is great in, say, a deck that may be running only, 1 rookie pilot and then maybe only a few upgrades. The rookie pilot's ability is, pretty good. Maybe you can't use the ability or use the vehicles, or maybe your opponent removed some dice, so you only have like a +2 on your rookie, and you have this guy out here. You can then claim this and resolve the rookie pilot as 2 damage. So that's pretty good. Okay, sorry, has some technical difficulties. So, uncommon is Battle of Wills, and the rare is ID9 Seeker Droid. Now, this is basically an upgrade for 7th Sister. It's got basically a bunch of X's with a ton of different dice sides, and then the X on this side is equal to the number of ID9 6 Seeker Droids in your pool. So, basically, 7th Sister, whenever she rolls out one of these guys for free, so you don't need the upgrade. And if you put 1 to 2 of these on her, then she's rolling out 3 at a time. And then if you can do like feint or any way to ready her, she can roll out more. I believe right now the most you can get out, I believe, is 7 Seeker Droid dice at a time, which is, pretty good, as, if you have a 7 freaking melee damage or 7 focus or anything like that, or you can freaking discard the entire hand. So this one's going to be interesting to see. I don't think it'll be tier 1, but it definitely can be something if you can reliably get out multiple Seeker Droids. Alright. Alright, so we have Defiance, Mandalorian Armor, Kill Them All, Anarchy, and Coordination. So, it's an upgrade. Give each of your characters a shield for its special. So, a little expensive, hero only, but, it's a rare. Alright. And Domination. So this is another one that goes into a Palp deck. But play only if you have exactly 1 character. Give a blue character 3 shields. So that's basically auto-include just to keep giving him shields. Plastoid Armor. Thermal Paint. 8 Fort and Axis. And a Chance Cube. Now, this is a very interesting one. It's 0. It's got 3 blank sides and 3 resource sides. Its ability is before you activate attached character, return this upgrade to your hand unless you spend one resource. So basically, you spend one resource and you're able to keep this upgrade in your hand. So that can be used either if you want to move the upgrade as well, so it doesn't always have to be a bad thing. And its sides are decent if you can reliably get them. I know right now I'm running a Lando Akbar deck that runs this and reliably able to get to 3 resources every turn. So it's interesting. So we'll see. Put that down there. I'm going to do some cleanup because this is getting filled up fast. Tech team, it's definitely going to be a decent upgrade. Deploy squadron. Lightsaber pull. Basically, you can pull the ancient lightsaber or any blue weapon from your deck. Quick escape. And an Ahsoka Tano, our first legendary. So she's got an interesting ability. After you activate this character for the first time each round, you may spend resources equal to the number of dice you just rolled. Rolled to ready her. So say she's elite, and so you're rolling 2 in, you can spend 2 resources to immediately ready her. So basically she can attack twice in a turn. I've seen people run just one of her, and it seems to work okay, just because you're basically spending 1 resource, and then you get an elite Ahsoka. So she's interesting, she has an okay die. She's decently priced at, I mean, 13, 17, so we'll definitely see how well she gets in the meta. Ugh. Need some energy. All right, so we have a bestow, shield generator, Fruitious Strike. Oh, Fruitious Strike. Oh my goodness, I cannot read. Deadly, which is actually pretty good. It's an upgrade for 2, villain only. Action, exhaust this upgrade and remove one of attached characters' character dice to deal 2 unblockable damage to a character. So unblockable damage, anytime you get any of them, unblockable damage is pretty good. So say you roll this guy, whoever this thing's attached to out, you get a blank, you really don't want to re-roll anymore. You can just exhaust this, take away the dice, and basically deal 2 damage. So if say you have a shield that you don't need, you can do that. You have a blank, you have basically anything on the side of the dice you don't need, just remove it, and it's 2 unblockable damage. So it gets past those shields. Oh yeah, I guess it's got a rare as well. And a pretty good rare too, Sabine, the cover art, and 2 in a row. So Sabine is actually going to be great with anything with thermal. Well, she's going to be great no matter what. So her dice are okay. I mean, 2 sides that are damaged, 2 and 3, so she can definitely get out stuff. And if she cheats out with her ability and ambush weapon and rolls out and rolls the 3, yeah. I played a Mace deck that died on turn 2 against Sabine. She rolled out turn 1, played a holdout blaster, rolled her 2 3s, resolved them. Turn 2, she did the same thing, just this time rolled in, I believe the blaster pistol, was a 30 blast pistol ambush, did the same thing, just killed Mace. So, and it decreases the cost by 1 if it has the word thermal in its title. So thermal paint, thermal detonator, those are now 1 cheaper when she plays them. So, and with thermal detonator, I mean, when it does, it's a good ability. The 3 to every character, it gets discarded, so then she immediately plays it back. So that is pretty good. So she, I think, will see a lot of play. And as more thermal upgrades come out, she will see even more play. All right. Indomitable. Prepare for War. Fruitious Strike. All Quiet on the Front. And Wookiee Warrior. So it's going to be interesting. So it's got an okay dice. He's very, very hungry. Similar to like the hired gun, but melee side. I mean, I think he's going to be okay. He'll be mostly just added as a secondary character to some lists. Crossfire, Pickpocket, Main Plaza, Weapons Factory Alpha, and Psychosymmetry, or Psychometry. So blue character only. For 3, it's probably not going to see too much play. Its special is draw cards equal to the value showing on an equipment or weapon die. You may remove that die. So some dice removal. It is a little expensive though, but I mean, good card draw. But we'll see. All right, Against the Odds, Insidious, Bad Feeling, Double Cross, and Relby V10 Mortar Gun. Now this is an interesting one, mostly for FN. It's got great die sides, but the thing is, it's action. Spend 2 resources and remove this die showing ranged damage to deal that damage to each of an opponent's characters. So basically, it's a salvo on a stick. It's a little expensive, but in an FN deck where you're continuously overriding weapons, this could be pretty good. Just roll it out. You get the 2. You can then spend, and then you just wait. Spend 2 resources if it's not removed, and do 2 to everybody. And if you land on that 3, you can do it as well. So if you roll out the 3, you can wait, spend 2 resources, and do 3 to each of an opponent's characters. So that's an interesting. I mean, we'll see how FN gets, if he gets nerfed. I figured he would have gotten nerfed already if he was. So I'm beginning to think he may not get a nerf until maybe the next set or until we figure out what's going on. Because right now he is an issue. He's not a huge issue as in he's completely broken, he wins every tournament. But I think in time he will become that. All right. Heat of Battle, Deploy Squadron, Rend, Reckless Reentry, and Ancient Lightsaber. So this is actually a very good card. This is the basically the chase card of the set. It's got good sides. Two black sides is always great, and then the +3. But it's got the action. Heal 2 damage from the attached character and place this upgrade on the bottom of your deck. So for 2, it's pretty good. Anytime you can heal a character almost for free is great. So that is the chase card currently of the set. It's in mostly every blue deck, just because it's pretty good. Right, Hut Ties, Ruthless Tactics, Partnership, Imperial Academy, and General Hux. So he'll be an interesting one to see. He's cheap, but he's pretty sturdy, and he's got the 2 focus side. We'll see. His special is, play Red Event from your hand, decrease its cost for 1 for each character you have. I've seen him played a few times. More lackluster. He's okay, but I think there's better characters than him. Move that down. So the day is ours. Truce. Funeral Pyre. Unyielding. And BD1, Cutter Vibrax. Now this is another one that I know a lot of people are a little upset about, just because shields. It says, before this die deals damage to a character, you remove all shields from that character. I know this one fits in a semi-similar category as Vibroknife, but it's not better than Vibroknife, but it's better costed than Vibroknife. It's 3, no ambush, thank God. And 3 of its dice, or 3 of its sides are melee, but you got to spend resource for them. So I think this one is fine. It is an issue with FN, but really that's it. This one's fine if you get it out for 3 and you're spending the 1 for the 3 sides, then, you know, losing the shields is okay, to me at least. Vibro Knife I know is an issue, but this one I don't see this as being too bad of a card design. I mean, I may be wrong, and, you know, somebody might break it with something, but currently as it sits, I think, you know, in an FN deck it's good, and in a few other decks it's pretty good just because it's ability, but it's not game breaking or anything like that, like some people think it is. Disable, lightsaber training, pin down, grill spaceport, and Bosk. You know, he's decent. I mean, personally, any card that has two different damage sides, I try to stay away from. He's got the ability after you activate this character, you may move 1 damage from an opponent's character to another character, which that's, you know, it's very good. He's priced very good at 11 or 15. So basically, if damage gets spread out with, say, Guardian or something like that, you can activate him to start moving the damage onto the character you want to kill first. So it's interesting. It makes him into a target, and he's cheap enough to add to a deck that you can put on another character that maybe they would want to kill first. So then he would get a lot more use out of his ability, which is a decent ability. Oh, we almost fell. And as you see, I've got these. I actually traded for these before I even got the sets. A Mace, Master Council. I actually went to a draft and pulled 2 of these. So now I have a third, so I have some trade baits. 2 Sabines, so I have a third one down there now, so I can have that as a trade. And 2 Electro Staffs, which basically auto-includes into a Mace Guardian deck that I'm making. Alright, let's go. So this is at 30 minutes long, and yeah, when you start getting going, so you don't have to sit for 20-30 minutes. Dangerous Mission, Force Vision, Bomar Monastery, Twin Shadows, and Weapons Cache. This is one people are looking at going, it could be good. If the meta slows down, this is definitely something usable. Its special is play a weapon from your hand, decreasing its value by 2. So it's decently priced at 2. It's got 2 specials and then a +2. I don't see it being played currently right now just because the meta is so quick. But if the meta slows down, maybe if a rotation happens in, you know, a couple of years, and a rotation happens, the meta is able to actually slow down, then I think it can be used. So we'll have to see. Currently, I think it's just too quick because it takes 2 turns to get out a weapon. With you playing turn 1, roll it out, and then resolve to the weapon. But that's, you know, without somebody getting rid of it quickly. Persuade, Battle Rage, a Lightsaber Pull, Drop Your Weapon, and an A280 Blaster Rifle. So it's another hero blaster that definitely heroes need. It has redeploy, which is great. And for its special, give 2 shields to your characters distributed as you wish. So, I mean, I'm more of a ranged guy anyway, so I look at this 2 with 3 sides. 2 of them are modified, but there's enough characters out there that have multiple regular damage that can utilize this very well. I mean, it's greatly priced, and it's something that heroes definitely need more weapons that can reliably do damage. Put this on there. And we are slowly running out of space. And we have 3 more legendaries somewhere in here. So Local Patrol, Imperial Headquarters, Main Plaza, Yoda's Quarters. They definitely need to add Yoda into this game. And Temptation. So, I mean, it's an upgraded villain. For its special, you may choose an opponent. That opponent may draw 2 cards. If they do, you gain 2 resources. If they do not, you draw 2 cards. So it's okay. It relies on what your opponent wants. So if you need 2 resources and the opponent knows it, then they're definitely not going to let you get those resources. It is priced at 1, so it's decently priced. It could be a decent ramp card. You play turn 1 and then use it to overwrite into something bigger later in the game when you don't necessarily need the 2 cards or 2 resources. All right, roll on. This is literally my favorite card in the set. It has re-roll one of your dice. You may re-roll that die. You may re-roll that die again. So it's funny. It's it's hilarious. Prepare for war. Secret mission. Another roll on. Anarchy. And Grand Inquisitor's Lightsaber. I pulled the Grand Inquisitor the other day, so definitely see if this will work. It is extremely expensive though, but it's, a good side. It's special, turn a character die showing a blank, or turn a character die to a side showing a blank, re-roll this die instead of removing it from your pool. So you can chain it around and start turning everything to blanks, and just re-rolling it for hopefully getting some damage out. So it is a little expensive. I don't know how much play it'll see, but it's decent. That's a decent die, but not really playable currently, unless the meta slows down. Everything really depends on the meta. So another roll on, a thermal paint, partnership, hidden agenda, and Bazine et al. So she's interesting. The ability, deal 1 damage to character, or 3 instead if the character has no damage on it. Extremely cheap. A little less squishy than some of the other characters, but she still dies extremely quickly. So I think she'll find a place, but with only 1 damage side, or only 1 way to damage herself or somebody else, it's a little eh. Cornered Prey, Imperial Headquarters, Futurious Strike, Weapons Factory Alpha, and Scatter Blaster. This is interesting. It's a special, deal 1 damage to each up to 4 different characters. And an action, you may remove attached character's character die to turn this die to any side. So, you could attach this to maybe a non-damaged character. It is a little expensive, so I don't think it's going to see too much play. And then turn this die to maybe the 2 or maybe +3 if you have another die. It's interesting. I don't think you'll see much play, but we'll see. All right, we're almost there. So 2 more legends. Oh, this is an interesting one. Came in with a flipped card. All right, Dangerous Mission. Rend. This is great against Holocrons or Force Speed decks. It's almost an auto include in any deck. At Peace. Buyout. And an upside down Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, or TIE Advanced. So, it's special is what's going to make him interesting. Spend 2 resources to deal damage to a character equal to the amount of damage on it. So basically, it doubles the damage on it. It is very expensive. This might be something that can go into, say, a Palpatine deck, just because he has resources. For a lot of them, he has resources. He may not have that many resources, 4, 5, 6 in a turn if you can get it going, but we'll see. A Palpatine deck definitely is something that it could go into, just because it has the resources, but I think a Palpatine deck might have better things to spend the resources on than a Darth Vader's TIE Fighter or TIE Advanced. So, No Survivors, Stolen Cash, Tenacity, Take Prisoner, and an ID9 Secret Droid again. So another one of these. Definitely need a Seventh Sister to play these, but after Seven Sisters, I don't think there's too much other places for that deck or for that card except that die or that deck. So Hut Ties, Truce, Funeral Pyre, Bring Balance, and Jedi Instructor. It's an interesting build. It has basically 1 of everything, and then after you activate this character, you may turn one of your character dice to a die showing the same symbol as this side. So it basically has 1 of everything. I played a draft where I had this, and he came in extremely helpful. just because I was running a range deck, but this die for some reason landed on a range a ton. So I was able to switch, say, the rookie pilot die into his 3 if I rolled crappy with him. So we'll see. I mean, it's okay priced, but we'll see. Crossfire, Voices Cry Out, Only Business Matters, Fort Annexus, and an EMP grenade. So this will be an interesting one. If vehicles become a deck, then this is definitely going to go into a lot of decks, just because specials discard a droid or vehicle from play and then discard as play. So similar to like thermal detonator, stuff like that deals more damage. This one deals more with vehicles and droids if they become a thing, and it's basically just disrupt the machine. Oh, we're getting close. I think there's 4 more. This one and then 3 more. Alright. So the day is ours. Red Alert. Trust the Force. Commander. And Ghost. So this is one thing that Hera can do. So this normally costs 4, but with Hera you can play it out for free. So it's got 2 decent damage sides as well as disrupt shields and resources, as well as it has no blank. So, and then special is resolved another side of this die. So if you need damage, resources, disrupt, or anything like that, you just resolve it for whatever you need at that time. So it's a decent legendary. We'll see how well it plays. I know it's in my Akbar Lando deck, and it gets played a lot, just because, you know, I'm able to generate so many resources. All right, against the odds, recycle. So another thing with Hera is if you have this and then you play out a ghost at the end of the turn before you end your turn, you can play recycle and gain 4 resources by discarding it. So basically you gain 3 resources just for Hera's ability, and then maybe next turn, say you have another ghost or something else in your hand, you can then play it almost for free. So it's interesting. Recycle is definitely a good card in that deck. Tenacity, Flanking Maneuver, and Probe Droid. So we'll see. It's a 1. It's basically the event probe on a stick, but Probe Droid. It's special. Look at 2 random cards in one's hand. Discard any of those cards that are events. So definitely good. I've run Probe in a lot of my decks. He's fallen off lately just because there are a lot better stuff to put into your deck than that, because it's not reliable enough. All right. Rearguard, Rend, Trust the Force, Endurance, and T7 Ion Disrupt Rifle. So this is an interesting. I mean, as you can see, all damage sides. You have to spot a red character to play it, but its action is discard a card from your hand to turn this die to a die showing value 1 higher than the one showing on the die. So if you roll 3 and you have 2 cards, in your hand, you can discard your 1 card, turn it to 4, discard the second card of the next action, and move it up to the 5. So it is extremely expensive. I don't know if it will see too much play. And last card, or last pack of this box, which I will be doing another box later today and uploading it as well. Cornered Prey, Pickpocket, Bounty Postings, Fearless, and T-47 Airspeeder. It's actually a great card. It's another one of those semi-cheap vehicles. Has decent side damage. Its special is pretty good. Is exhaust a support or draw 2 cards. So say they have a support that's extremely annoying, you can resolve it and exhaust it so they can't use it for that turn. Or say you need 2 cards in hand, you know, like Luke Skywalker. I saw a Luke Skywalker deck that had a what's that card called? Launch Bay, and it was purely just built around drawing tons and tons and tons of cards, and using Launch Bay to hopefully either kill you, discard your hand every turn, or something like that. It never got going, but the premise is actually pretty good. So this is an okay card. I like the card. I've played it a bunch, and it fits very nice in a lot of decks. So, all right. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So T7 Eye Disruptor rifle. Probably won't see too much play. It's an interesting ability, but we'll see. Ahsoka Tano. She's pretty good. You'll probably see her a little bit if you play competitively. Sabine, you'll definitely see. A lot of people play Sabine. She's great action cheating, and you'll definitely see her. Ancient Lightsaber. If you're playing a blue deck, a blue melee deck, and this isn't in there, the guy's playing it wrong probably. But we'll see. Granted, Cribb's Lightsaber, you probably won't see it too much. You'll see it every now and then in maybe a more casual tier 2 deck. Ghost, a Hera deck, definitely. Resource gen decks definitely will use it as well. And then back to T7. So overall, I mean, it's a decent box. We'll see what we get from it. I mean, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully I cut this down by like 10-15 minutes. But yeah, it's definitely so part of Nova Gaming. I'm Tim. I'll be doing more pack cracks. May not be Destiny, maybe a bunch of other games as I play so many types of games like Magic, Pokemon, X-Wing, stuff like that. So definitely comment with what you want to see. If you liked what you saw, definitely give me a like and a subscribe. And have a good rest of the day. I'm going to be posting another video later today with the other box. And hopefully we get something great out of that one as well. All right? You have a good rest of the day.